Good morning, friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. Hope you're doing well. We are back out at the farm today. Gonna tackle the big project. We'll see how far we can get. Got my tray of sunflowers here to transplant. Brought out the gypsum and the nets to cover some more beds. And Mike, bless his heart, is going to take a few hours this morning before a bunch of meetings to start the string trimming. So, fingers crossed we could get a lot done, or at least make it look like we got a lot done. So to give you an idea of the before, in summer when we don't get any rain, this all just turns brown and it's short, nothing's growing. But as you can see, it is extremely overgrown right now. Not so bad in the pathways, except for this one that never got the cardboard treatment. So that will be pretty easy, just takes time. And the string trimmer is great on some of this stuff, but not these big wild lettuces or the big giant thistles. We need a hedge trimmer for those because their stems are like an inch thick. So I'm going to come over here and pull up the gopher traps that I set yesterday that did not catch anything because Mike needs, open space to string trim. But also I want to show you, so you can see how much there's no burgundy basil left. The lemon basil is struggling. There's a single marigold left and pretty much no zinnias left. Over here they fared a tiny bit better, but not by much. So this is the bed. These two beds will get the zinnias replacements later this week once they've all hardened off. And I'm starting more marigolds this week. So it's not a huge loss, but it's so annoying. It's so annoying. It's hard to put things in the ground and see them disappear. But this is a good thing to see. So we do still have some Cynoglossum here. The Bachelor Butt and the Bride, only one remains. But the Lisianthus, for the most part, are all still here, and that's super important. They're an important crop. But again, a little bit of Daucus left, and I've got a hole here I need to plug, like right now. And just a tiny bit of whatever this was, stock maybe. So you can see the destruction. There are a handful of ranunculus. This is all that came up out of the 700 that were planted. Most of them are too far gone, but I am going to harvest a few today that are at the right stage because tomorrow is CSA day. Thankfully, it's my bi-monthly period, and so I only have to make half of the normal amount of bouquets. So it's a good thing because I hardly have anything here to harvest. Do have some pretty tulips, but then the rest of the tulips are bloomed out, and so we'll pull those out of that bed and get it prepared for, planting for something else. Daffodils, still looking beautiful over there, but if you get close to them, you can see that most of them are way too far gone to harvest. But I'll leave them there for now. They look really pretty. And there's Clarkia growing up in between, so that will give us some flowers at some point pretty soon too. But I just can't wait to get this all string trimmed. First of all, it's a little sketch walking through here because of snakes, so I definitely want to get everything pulled back. But I'll have to come in here with shovels for this stuff. So these are giant thistles. They are extremely spiny, and they've got a taproot that goes down over a foot, so they just have to be dug out. And I generally try to catch them before they get this big, but time got away from me as usual. You can see some chocolate lace flower here that's looking beautiful, so I feel pretty good about that. I wish it was more dense, but that's okay. And then the Orlea is blooming and the Ami Magus, so I'll be able to pull those. This is stock. And a few of the stems are worth harvesting, but a lot of them are already past their prime. This is the section that is going to be a nightmare. This is where we come in with the hedge trimmer because, as you can see, it's 90% these horrible, horrible thistles. I can't tell you how much I hate them. First of all, they're not native, they're invasive, and they just take over. They're so awful. Craziest thing though, people hire goat herds around here to come and clear land all the time because it's, number one, much better for the environment. Two, it's safe because you're not burning anything. And it's a good business for some folks who have herds of goats. The goats will eat this stuff. I don't know how they can eat. It's like thousands of hypodermic needles. It's like a cactus. It is so awful. I don't know how they can eat it, but they do. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna get started because there's a lot to do today. I am gonna basically work on this set of beds up here. First I need to harvest what's available to harvest, and then I'm gonna focus on weeding and aerating, putting gypsum down, and getting ready for this week's transplants and getting the sunflowers in. It's just gonna be a day's worth of work. Hopefully we'll have a lot to show for it when we're done. Oh, and one more thing. The gophers can't get into the beds, so they have found their way into the pathways, these little buggers. So I'm gonna have to definitely put more wood chips down here. This is a thick layer of wood chips. It's about 8 inches, or it was when we put it down, but probably not anymore. So I still am gonna keep setting traps everywhere I see their disturbance and hope that I can catch enough so that they don't disturb places that we're gonna cover for pathways. Just trying to eradicate. It is mating season for them right now, so we wanna make sure we get as many as possible right now. Okay, gonna get started. got 4 hours in and got a good deal done. First of all, Mike did some of the trimming for us, some of this, which the truck is blocking the rest, so I'll get that tomorrow. Not going to be trimming up there because that's too close to the bees and they get mad. That's okay. Anyway, he got the pathway down to where the compost bin is, which is great. I put gypsum down on this bed and that bed, dug it in a bit, and then planted sunflowers down here and at the end down here. Didn't plant anything in this bed. The new batch of zinnias will go in there, and also some in here as well, and the grasses. But I did cover both of these with this netting. Now, the rodents can get underneath the netting, but what I'm really trying to protect at this point is from birds, especially the sunflowers. If I left those just like this, tomorrow morning I come out here and there wouldn't be a single one left. As you know, sunflower seeds are a tasty snack for birds, and the seedlings are just as tasty. So this netting really, really helps with that. Now, I also hand weeded this whole pathway, which was really overgrown. There was a lot of thistles in here. That's why I needed to hand weed it. And I also didn't want to string trim and potentially rip up the netting on this side. And I put cardboard down. So it's ready for wood chips. I need to order those. But this is where I'm going to start tomorrow. I'll pull this netting back, hand weed through there where there's not a whole lot of weeds, but enough that, needs to be done. Readjust the netting so it fits better. Our snapdragons down here are going to start running into it. And then continue on. So I'll weed this bed, hand weed in this pathway here, and then through here, Mike started the string trimming. I'll use that, probably the hedge trimmer, because it's all super, once you get past the grass, it's all those really bad thistles. But this makes it so much easier to walk through here, and also safer. When it's that dense, I get anxious about walking through it because I don't want to disturb a snake. Also, it helps me be able to see where the rodent holes are. Where the gopher mounds are. When it's really high grass, you can't see that. So a lot of hand weeding still, but it's fine. Like it's good work to do. And again, once I do this and put down the wood chips and the cardboard, then it kind of doesn't have to be done again for a long, long time. So that's kind of the goal, to get this done. In the middle of this bed, where we've got Orlea down here, and then at the end we've got Daucus, chocolate lace flower, and there was spotty ranunculus. The whole thing was packed with ranunculus, but it didn't grow. So I need to fork this bed really well in the middle there. Obviously these guys have no problem. Okay, so here's the thing. These plants, Orlea, as well as the Daucus and the Amimagus, are all members of the carrot family. So they have taproots. So they're excellent at pushing through dense, compact soil. So, at this end, that's why they're doing well. But in the middle, where the ranunculus tried to live and just didn't succeed, I need to fork that whole thing, add a bunch of gypsum, and then put another layer of compost on top, and then it will be ready for whatever I plant in there, the next succession of things. I'm realizing now that, I forgot, I had ordered more plugs from Farmer Bailey's, because they'll be further along than if I started seeds. So those will be coming soon too, which is great, because we've still got 2 beds down there, 3 beds that are empty because they have the compacted soil in them, so they're not planted yet. And I need to amend those beds as well. Fork them, add gypsum and more compost, and then those will be ready for planting too. So it's so funny, what I'm doing now feels more like what I usually do in the fall, but stuff happens, and that's the way it goes. I did also pull all the rest of the tulips out. I harvested the ones that were ready, and then the others that were just all blown open, pulled all of those out and put them in the compost. That bed is pretty aerated because of the tulips, which is great, but definitely needs a lot of gypsum and more compost. So I'm going to have to order more compost in addition to the wood chips, and that's fine, because we'll definitely need it to finish off. And then finally, the beds way out in the back, we still have 3 of those beds to do. One of them is complete. I need to put the irrigation on it. That I can start using for sunflowers, or go ahead and replant the mums that are in these crates here. And there's more mums coming in May as well. So there's another crate down there. So So I still have to get lots of planting space ready, but I feel like I made a lot of good progress today. And with this netting on, it will keep these guys protected from the birds and a little bit from the rodents. I mean, for the most part, they want to be able to run overland. And if there's other stuff to eat, it's just a hassle for them to dig under. So they just eat the other stuff that's available. Okay, that's going to be it for me, guys. I have to run some errands before I go pick up Aiden, and I'll be back out here bright and early tomorrow, ready to get dirty string trimming and hand weeding. But it does feel like we've made progress, at least up at this end. Once I get this end done, then we'll tackle the bottom end. So there's still a lot, probably this entire week. It'll probably take the whole week to do it. And we've got beautiful temperatures for it. So this is the first time the sun's been out, which is actually quite nice. It was cloudy the whole day working, which made it very lovely for working. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.